Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Zelda Cast here on ZeldaDungeon.net. My name is Andy Spiteri, joined, as always, by Allison Aletha. Al, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing on this fine Sunday?
I'm doing okay. I do have, I've got this like headache that I just haven't been able to kick for the last day or so. Um, but like other than that, it's pretty good. It's Thanksgiving here, so I just wanted to wish a happy Thanksgiving to all my fellow countrymen, my fellow Canadians, and Sam and I. Of course, we can't leave our house really because of Link in his recovery right now. So we for the last couple of years we've been going to this pub, and this pub has Thanksgiving poutine, like the
Oh,
most
right.
Canadian thing. And
Yeah.
so we got it ordered to the house yesterday, and we asked them to separate everything into like little like different to go bags basically because we didn't want it to get soggy on the way over.
hmm
However, Allison, this is the important part. We were a little bit overzealous because we then put our fries in the air fryer thinking that they were going to be soggy, but we made them too crispy for poutine
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
Now it didn't ruin
Yeah.
it or anything like that. It was still very tasty, but it was just like golly.
My mom she has a knack for like overcooking things sometimes, and I think it's because her mom before her always undercooked stuff, so she's like scared to
Yeah,
undercook.
yeah.
So I think it was there maybe yesterday or the day before, and they were cooking tater tots. And I was like, "Oh, these look really good." And like they're perfectly golden brown. And she's like, "No, they're not done." And my dad's behind her like rolling his eyes. He's like, "If they're not hollow, they're not done." And she's like, "Shut up, I'm in charge. They have to be burnt. I don't care." It's like, well, not everybody likes them like that.
For fries, I don't know about you, but like if I'm at McDonald's, okay, I'm gonna take fries that are a little bit more on the softer side than the crispier side because I
Yeah,
think they're better that way.
I do. I agree.
Yeah.
I know that people like to go to like In and Out and get like extra done fries, and I just think at that point they're like hollow and chalk. Like
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
good anymore. I rather
No.
have them be slightly underdone than overdone.
Yeah, I agree. Because like overdone, the other thing too is like they're too hot and you bite into them, and especially if they're fat fries, like that filling just
hmm
like comes at you like lava. So
hmm
yes, that's how I'm doing, Al. Other actually, you know what? I gotta say. So I beat Silksong the other day, which is
Nice.
just like this incredible game. I'm actually going to be doing a solo Omega Metroid podcast where I'm going to be answering Silksong questions. But I started playing
Whoa.
Hades 2 after
hmm
that, and Hades 2 predictably is incredible. And I got Kronos this morning. I got him like half an hour before we started recording. Now you need
hmm
to beat Kronos like multiple times, of course, but Death to Kronos was had, baby. Let's go.
I love that. Nice.
Yeah,
Good for
yeah.
you.
So spirits are feeling pretty good. We're gonna power through this headache and yeah, we're gonna have a great show. We got like a couple of things actually to talk about here today. So number one is we actually should have done this a few weeks ago, but we just have had news, and then we had our Chicory episode on the book. So we're going to talk about it today, and we're going to be taking a look back at The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom 1 year later. Talk about if our feelings have changed at all, what the game's legacy is probably going to be. Al, it's about that time where the best Zelda ever lists are starting to come together. So like we're gonna have to rank
hmm
Echoes of Wisdom on our list at all, and I can't remember where I put it last year, but maybe we'll reassess where we put it and kind of go from there. So we're gonna be talking about that. There was a lot of new Age of Calamity information that came out regarding the sages, excuse me, that
Yeah.
that we need to talk about. And I have some thoughts. You have some thoughts. We've discussed our thoughts in Discord, and now we're going to litigate in the podcast as well. And just a few other just quick kind of odds and sods that we thought would be fun to discuss. And I guess actually one thing that we should just mention, because I saw this kind of floating around on social media the other day, but we should give this dude a shout out. There was a new Guinness World Record for the biggest Legend of Zelda collection in the entire world. So like that was I guess given to a new guy who has this like insane collection. I'm desperately trying to find this name here. But I saw a picture of this guy's Zelda collection on socials, and it was just like absolutely crazy. There's a full article about this over on the website that kind of has like all of the details and stuff like that on it. But it's worth like a couple minutes of your time because like this dude's Zelda collection, like we think Moss has a lot of Zelda stuff. This guy has a lot of Zelda stuff.
I feel like, yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, I kind of get a lot of Zelda stuff, and my parents are like, why do you buy this stuff? Blah, blah, blah. You know? But then I look at other people's stuff and I'm like, oh, I'm not nearly
Yeah.
as bad as I could be. Like I'm nowhere near. And in fact, like a lot of my like miscellaneous Zelda things, I've kind of packed up into like a collections box, just to put away because I was just starting to run out of room. But yeah, and then I look at other people's things and I'm like, you know what? I could be worse.
Constantine Adams is this gentleman's name, which is a badass name, by the way. And by the way, I'm looking in the at his collection of Zelda stuff here, which again is just absolutely incredible. And I will say, on the far left hand side there, Al, is a Samus first four figure statue. So my man Constantine has like immaculate taste. He would probably be a welcome friend of this show.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm looking at this. See, I want a room like this for all of my things. Like I'll have
Yes.
Zelda on one side and Star Wars on the other. That'd be so cool. Oh, look at all the colored like N64 controllers in the back. Those are cute.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. Yeah,
So
this is a good collection.
you should go like if you're listening to this, go to zeldadungeon.net and just like check this out. Take 5 minutes because it's really cool. There's a bunch of like other records that are held as well, or that I guess were I don't know like given. Ocarina of Time is the most critically acclaimed video game ever. So I mean,
Nice.
hey, that's you could literally now say it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Which you know what? Speaking of best Zelda ever, this would be the six Pete if Ocarina of Time finishes first. 6 or
7?
7? I don't even
I want
know
to say
anymore.
7th, but I can't remember also. So we'll see. But I mean, if it's in the Guinness Book of World Records as like the most critically acclaimed Zelda game.
Well, I would say like at least our like at Zelda Dungeon, you're gonna get like more in depth and maybe some people that have Ocarina of Time fatigue a little bit there. I do
Hmm.
think eventually Breath of the Wild is going to overtake it on the list, like at some
Hmm.
point. But I don't know
Yeah.
when that point is, man, because like like every year I see the results of best Zelda ever, even though I'm not doing it anymore. Like Rod will share it with me, and like the amount of distance between Ocarina of Time and like the second best game is like nuts, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll see, we'll see.
Maybe one of these years we'll have to do it like musical March Madness style, where you just take the winner out, you know?
I don't know if you can. I mean, how can you have a best Zelda ever list with no Ocarina of Time?
I don't know.
I don't know. Um,
Sometimes it feels unfair.
Lots of good response to our episode last week, inspired by Zelda with Nicole. We did Chicory, A Colorful Tale. Wonderful, wonderful game. Cannot recommend it enough. Lots of people, I feel like, really liked that show. Had suggestions for future inspired by Zeldas. So keep those suggestions coming because we would love to do them and discover some more games that maybe we don't know a whole lot about. So just wanted to shout that out. And the buzz online, Al, that had everybody talking is what is Nintendo up to now? What is
Oh.
up with this short film about a baby?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, they are really going all in on Silex's origin story for Metroid Prime 4. But alas, it was not to be. The next day, so there's two videos that are uploaded. So one was just this baby, and he's walking. Well, he's not walking. He's doing whatever a baby does in his house. And the next day, they upload the same video, but like now there's all of these Pikmin as well. And I was like, cool.
Hmm.
Is this like Pikmin, another Pikmin game? And I guess it was just like a demonstration of the animation of Nintendo's new animation
Hmm.
studios. Looked exactly like a Pixar video, and then they used the opportunity to plug that fine app, Nintendo Today. Did you
Hmm.
watch these videos, Al?
I only saw the first one with the baby, and I mean, at first I was like, "Oh, what's Nintendo doing with this? Is this supposed to be something related to the Mario movie?" And then I was like, watching this for a second, and maybe this is like the new aunt in me, or like I've always like babysat kids. I've always taken care of my younger siblings, but I'm like, why did this mom leave this baby alone in a room full of like hazards? Like I
Seems like not a very good idea. Like,
I was just like, she's
does
like,
seem
okay,
like a
I'm
good
taking
episode of Rugrats, though. I will say.
I don't know why. I'm like, obviously that's not the point of this video, but I was like, I would never leave a baby alone like that. Like,
Well,
anyways, um, I was under the impression that I was watching something Pikmin related because the way this stuff was moving, I was like, oh, there's a little magical Pikmin hanging around.
yeah.
So I didn't see the next one the next day. So if that's the confirmation that it was Pikmin related, then super cool. I liked it. Thought it was cute.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was like a good looking animation. I was just kind of like, oh man, I wish that there was like a new Pikmin game coming because I love Pikmin.
Hmm.
So I didn't know. Apparently, the Pikmin are invisible to the human eye. Did you know that bit of lore?
Nope.
I didn't know that either.
Today
But
I
apparently
learned.
that's the thing.
That would make sense if that's why they were invisible.
Well, I just thought they were really small. Like
Hmm.
small little Pikmin people. So either way, it was a cool little animation, and I don't know, interesting to see like what other weird things Nintendo will put together. Like I feel like
Hmm.
eventually there's going to be like a movie, like a full on movie, right?
Okay.
Not just like
Yeah.
Illumination, not just live action Zelda, like just something that these guys make. So hopefully that comes
Maybe if that's
sooner.
like that's their point, is they're like, maybe we like working with Illumination, but like let's create our own thing because obviously the
Totally.
Mario movie was successful, so let's continue with that success and do something on our own.
That's such a Nintendo thing to do as well. It's
It
just
oh
like
my God, it is.
own the
Yeah.
entire profits, own the entire
Yeah.
creative, own the entire process.
Yep.
So
Come on, Nintendo. Sometimes it's okay to work with other people and collab and have other things on your consoles. It's fine.
yes, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Al. Let's get to what everybody wants to talk about.
Okay.
The new information from the Legend of Zelda. It's not the Legend of Zelda. From Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment has dropped, and it dropped at a fairly like pedestrian, innocuous kind of way here. So the other day, on the 6th of October, it is now the 12th. This is crazy. That dropped 6 days ago already. My goodness.
I
So
know, but
so
I'm assuming they were like, "Oh, we're a month out. Let's drop some nuggets here."
so basically, like the day after we recorded last week, Nintendo
Yeah.
decided to drop just a random Twitter drop with all of the names and a brief little synopsis for the sages that we are going to be playing as in Age of Calamity. And well, let's just read through them right here, Al. And there's some artwork that goes along with them as well, and some new characters that are introduced. Let's just go right ahead. So we have 5 new characters, or quote unquote new characters, that have been all given names. Um, Agraston, the worldly chief of the Gorons, though calm and intellectual, he will readily fight tooth and nail for his companions. He is an intelligent and generous person. He has known Rauru for a long time and is a close friend. Okay. And by the way, so some of this was translated from the original Japanese using Google Translate. So if it's not 100% accurate, don't come at me. Let's
I'm
move
at
on.
Google.
Kia, the Zora Queen and a skilled fighter whose courage and valor inspire her people. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Rafika, the quick-witted leader of the Rito. Despite his aloof demeanor, he is considerate and steadfast ally. Does that sound familiar? Artie, a compassionate Gerudo leader bound to serve Ganondorf. That sounds interesting. And finally, uh, Linalia, a chamberlain who attends to Princess Zelda. Though she can come off across, excuse me, though she can come across as easygoing, her ability to get things done has made her one of Raru's most trusted attendants. She has a strong curiosity about mystical things and always carries her record notebook with her. So, our sages of the past finally have names, although it bears mentioning here that every single person except for Artie, the Gerudo sage, is still wearing a mask. So they are still they are still faceless. But um, I will say I was not enthralled with this news, Al. and I'm gonna let you take the lead here. Tell me what you think, but and I'll kind of tell you why I wasn't enthralled with it. But a brief snippet of what we can expect from these characters, some artwork to go along with them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I was super excited to hear these names. Like first of all, I think it's Agriston. Not I don't know what you said. And also you make jokes about how these guys sound familiar, but I think you're getting like some of your um adjectives kind of like you're mixing them because like first of all this Goron he seems worldly and wise whereas Daruk wasn't, and the Zora Queen is a skilled fighter whose courage and valor inspire her people, almost like that's what the royal family is supposed to do, you know. That makes a lot of sense to me. And then aloof demeanor, I wouldn't call like Rivali aloof, I would call him standoffish and like he's got a big chip on his shoulder and like he's like I'm better than all of you. That's not aloof. Aloof is like kind of maybe a little like in the background, a little like reserved,
No, it means you're just
I
like
don't think
whatever.
Rivali was reserved at all.
Okay. Okay.
And then Artie definitely was given probably a little bit more, where she was a compassionate Gerudo leader bound to serve Ganondorf. I feel like that's a really loaded sentence that gives us like some like we're gonna get some fun, interesting like conflict that she's gonna be having here. And then I was super excited to learn about Linalia because I think that she is the attendant that follows around the royal family and writes down the ancient texts that you find in the sky, those like tablet things that you have to take back to Kakariko and translate. I think that she's that person. So I was super excited to hear about her too. So yeah, I personally was super excited by these names and these descriptions. Also, I'm curious if it's going to be Kia or Chia because I know QI is sometimes pronounced Chi. So I I I will defer to whatever the game says her name is. And then I really like the name Rafika. I think that sounds cool. It makes me think of Rafiki. And then Artie is cute. And yeah, I was excited. And then in came Andy Spiteri.
Not just Andy Spiteri. Let's be clear. Not just Andy Spiteri.
I
Um,
love the people who are like, "Oh wow, almost like they're new characters given new names." Wow, that sucks. Wow.
you mean the one person? Just one?
No, there was a few.
There's one. So listen. I'm going to admit here that like part of my disappointment is like I kind of grew attached to my own theory, and I was like they
Hmm.
should have the sage names. That makes a lot of sense. Um, they didn't. That's fine. But I do like and listen. It's a like I said I've said this from day one with this game. Like it's a tall task to introduce like all of these new playable characters. Like I think like all at once. Like yes, in Breath of the Wild, like you can introduce all of these characters, but you have so much more time in Breath of the Wild, I feel like, and the story is just told in a different way. But here you're immediately supposed to be like connecting and playing as these characters. So like for me, I'm just like I don't even know Rafika. You sound like the monkey from The Lion King. Like you're not.
Rafiki.
We're not necessarily off to the best start here, but I was a little bit disappointed because I feel like the names just kind of sound like I don't know whatever, like very very like generic fantasy names, and like your next question, which is a fair one, is probably going to be like, well, what should they have been called then? I don't know, but like I think like that calling them by something familiar like would have at least helped establish like some sort of like connection to these characters, which now I just feel like zero connection to any of them, just because like they're faceless. They were nameless, but now they're named, but their names are just like just a collection of like I don't know. It didn't land for me. And again, I will admit to maybe being in love with my own theory a little bit on that.
Mhm.
But further, I do think like I'm sorry, Al. Like Kia. By the way, so Kia, I'm gonna say it as that because the Japanese spelling is with a K, so I think that's how it's supposed to be. But I mean, Kia to me sounds like exactly like Mifa. Like and maybe not. Maybe she won't be.
Mhm.
But I'm just like that doesn't sound like super interesting to me. Rafika, I mean, yeah, sure, like aloof versus like being a jerk, like okay, but that to me just sounds like similar enough to Rivali, where I'm like, I feel like we've got this before. Um, I don't know. How do you think it is? I think it's called Agraston. Like that. That's how I would pronounce that.
I was saying Agriston or Agriston.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. We'll probably find out soon enough. But I mean, like this one, I feel like is like okay. Like yes, he like the rest of the Gerudo or the rest of the Goron, excuse me, are like kind of like hot headed. I guess a little bit. Although Daruk wasn't really that. Like I would say like Daruk was kind of like an intellectual kind of a character as well. So this one again wasn't like
Okay.
so. Well, I mean, like we don't know anything about Daruk other than he doesn't like dogs. So I mean, like you can't say a whole lot about Daruk. But this one again to me, I was feeling a little bit uninspired. Artie, I think has a lot of potential. I really like that maybe that conflict that's going to exist between her and the sages and being bound to serve Ganondorf. She is the only one that sounds interesting to me, which is funny because she's the only one that is like not presented with their sage mask on, and I don't know if there's any kind of correlation between that. Um, Linalia, I think like as a character is fine, but like this character design is putrid. I think
Okay, I'm
she
gonna
looks
start
she looks
off
like a
like
ditto here. Okay, it's undeniable. I've never had a viral tweet before, but I tweeted this on Blue Sky and like it was as close as I've ever
three
got.
people liked it.
Maybe four, I don't know, but
I am going to be really protective of Linalia because I knew as soon as I saw her that people were either going to be supportive or gross. And of course, I was right. Like, I was very happy to see that a lot of people were like excited to see her and were like, oh, yeah, like she looks like she's going to be fun. I'm excited to get to know her. And then, of course, the other half are just gross people on the internet. So I feel like as long as Nintendo portrays her in a fun way and not like a very stereotypical, I don't know how to say this in a nice way, like way, then I'm gonna love her and I'm gonna be protective of her because I think like how do I don't know, how do I be politically correct about this? I've been overweight my whole life and I see an overweight character and I want to be protective of them because I think people can be really nasty and gross.
mhm.
So that's how I feel about Linalia.
Let's put it this way, or you know what? I will speak for me. I have no problem with like the body of this character. I'm just like, what's up with like the face? Like, why is her mouth this weird line? It's incredibly distracting.
I think it's cute.
That's literally what I take umbrage with. Like, it looks like a me. Like
Mhm.
when you're making your me character, like it because the eyes like they look like me select eyes and it looks like a me select mouth, and I'm just like, what is up with this? Like it looks really odd to me. So yes, you know what I will say like please don't take it as that, but
Mhm.
like the face is definitely I don't know. I'm just like what are you doing? Like
Mhm.
why?
I like her face. I think it's cute. I even like showed my brother when I got home. I was like, "Does she look like a ditto?" And he's like, "No."
Oh, come
he
on. You saw the
didn't see it
screenshot
either.
comparison. You saw it. You
I
know.
didn't see it. I think it. I don't see it.
Well, okay. So, I mean,
I think
yeah,
it's cute.
she's going to be the one making those notes, I guess, which is like exciting enough. I
That's my
just
guess. That's my guess.
yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, we're less than a month out from this game and I just like I have to say like I'm really not that excited for this game. Like of all the games that have come out in the last couple months, like there's Silksong, there's Hades 2, there's Pokemon coming out, there's obviously Metroid Prime 4. This is the one where I'm like, well, I got to play it for the podcast, but like am I dying to play this game? I cannot
Yeah.
say that I am because like the story like we don't really know what the story at all is, and like I mean obviously we know that they're gonna fight the imprisoning war, that's great, but like I feel like we need something. There's just like all of these brand new characters that we don't know anything about, that we're supposed to be connecting as and playing as, and I don't know. And by the way, let me be clear. So I said earlier like you know all of these names kind of feel like they're just like random names and like it's you know, like who are these people? This is a failing of Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of
Mhm.
the Kingdom had such a long amount of time in that 100+ hour game to establish these four characters, and they didn't. They kept them nameless and faceless, even though they showed you the same cutscene like four times. So I think that is just like an indictment on the poor storytelling of Tears of the Kingdom here,
Mhm.
But like I can't lie and say that like because of that, like I can't sit here and say like I feel really excited to play this game. I'm not there yet.
I'm like in 100% agreement with you that they did a disservice to these characters by not giving
Yeah.
us more information about them in Tears of the Kingdom. But I'm gonna like push back against your reasoning here. Like any game, any story, any movie, any show, any book is going to give you a collection of new characters that you're gonna need to connect with in order to follow their story and like have any kind of feeling about them. So of course, like we're getting these new characters, and should they have been established before? Yes, but now we have a new game to get connected with these characters. Like you're gonna have those levels where you're gonna play with as them, get their stories, just like we did in Age of Calamity. We had that for the old sages and the new sages, so we're gonna find the connection with them. I can understand why that you're struggling because you wanted to already be connected with them, but like that's just not how it is. And but I'm not saying that like we're gonna get that, through this game. That's what this game is here for, is so that we
Hmm.
do get that connection.
No, and that's fair, but like you're saying that's how it is, and obviously that is. I'm just like I'm saying like that just makes me not particularly excited
But
for this
is that
game.
how you feel about everything then? If you're going into everything like, oh, I gotta be all these new
No,
characters
but
and
like let me ask you a question. Well, you don't play fighting games, do you?
no.
Okay. So if you're gonna play Street Fighter, who are you gonna
Mhm.
select as your character? Is it gonna be Ryu or is it gonna be the new person that they introduce? Like you're probably gonna select Ryu because you're like, oh, I know Ryu, he's cool. Like I like his moves. I've seen him in the movie. This analogy isn't necessarily for you, but like if you're playing Smash Bros, like are you gonna if they just randomly make characters up for the game and be like, well, connect with them as you play, or you can play as like Link or Samus or Mario. You're probably taking Link or Samus or Mario. Now, can this
But
game?
I was
Yeah.
gonna say like I've made that argument in the past where I'm like I'm just gonna play as the people I know, and then you're like, well, don't you want to get to know all these new things and see what the
Hmm.
new things do? Like you've been on the other
Well,
side of that
and that's what I
argument.
was about to say is like can this game present me a really great story with all these characters and like win me over? Of course, like of course it can. Like I'm just saying like right now we've got a bunch of characters whose description I think leaves a little bit to be desired because it's pretty similar to characters that we've spent the last 10 years with in Breath of the Wild. I think that they're still like faceless characters, which is like not doing them any good. And I think that Tears of the Kingdom really it put these characters in like a tough position. It made them Tears of the Kingdom chose the hardest path to success by doing what it did with these four sages. For me, I feel like.
And I mean I agree with you there. I agree
And
with you that Tears messed up.
listen, this is not just me saying like there were multiple people that felt like this. So like I'm gonna say like it's not an isolated feeling that I have, and maybe like I'm speaking just for the Discord. Maybe there's more people out there that are just like, oh great, Rafiki, I can't, let's go. But
Rafiki.
I do feel like I feel like if you're trying to introduce a new character, like obviously that's totally cool. Each Zelda game introduces a lot of new characters. I think that there's like a difference when you're talking about a game like this where you have to introduce new characters, but like you are those characters like right away. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm just like
I
I
don't
wasn't
think they're gonna
enthralled by
be.
it and I'm not that
I wouldn't
excited.
say that you're gonna be these characters right away. I think they're gonna come into the story just like they do in all the other games of this era, where you slowly meet them over time. But so I disagree with you with the upfront feeling. I agree with you like with the past feeling where Tears should have given us this, and I'm gonna give you like I don't know some agreement in the future. So let's say that these characters like the Rito and the Zora, let's say they are just like Mifa and Rivali and all that kind of stuff. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, I can understand feeling disappointed because they are just like other characters that we've kind of gotten to know in the past, maybe
Hmm.
not like as much as we would have liked to, but like now we're just getting them in a different skin. Like yeah, I would be frustrated with that. But I'm hopeful at this time because like we're getting their names, we're getting some very brief descriptions. Obviously Nintendo's always been like that where they're like we're not going to give you the whole meat and potatoes
Yeah,
until it's like day 3 before the game or whatever.
if that.
Um, yeah. Or just play the game and then you'll get the meat and
Yeah.
potatoes. So I will give you that. If that's how this turns out, I will be disappointed. I'll like 100% give you that.
Oh, okay. Um, and you know what? Like I said, like someone asked me in Discord, like, man, are you like what does this game have to do to win you over? Like, and I was just like, just tell a good story. Like, make these characters compelling. There's every chance in the world that all of these
Hmm.
characters can be compelling. I think Artie sounds like a very compelling character already
Hmm.
from that little brief snippet. So like, I'm not trying to sit here and say like that this game is doomed by any means, but I just, if you were asking me like, am I really excited for this based on what we've got so far? My answer is no. Like,
Hmm.
um,
And I'll bring up too something I think I brought up in the past. The story format of Breath of the Wild and Tears is so different than the Hyrule Warriors story format. We get way
yeah.
more footage and way more information. Unfortunately, Age of Calamity did it wrong, but I'm very hopeful that Age of Imprisonment does it right and that we do get that time that we did get with the champions in Age of Calamity. You know, we did get to know them more. So I'm hoping that like this delivers so that you're like, okay, I kind of do connect with these new characters now. Like I
Hmm.
do, I like them. They're not bad.
Yeah, and you know what? I guess like to play devil's advocate for my own self, like it's not like that dissimilar from like a Fire Emblem game where you do meet like a
Hmm.
lot of characters and stuff like that, and eventually like over time, I would say that most of the characters in Fire Emblem win me over, but like I feel like I just like hold Zelda at a higher standard than that because
Hmm.
like Fire Emblem, we know that there's like supposed to be 30 characters you can take your pick from, whereas this I'm just like I don't know, like these feel like they should be important characters, and they feel to me like they are anything but important. Like if I'm like talking about Rafika, shouldn't I know something about Rafika from Tears of the Kingdom, or
Hmm.
shouldn't I have
Yeah,
heard about this
absolutely.
character in Breath of the Wild? Like I just like Breath of the Wild for all of its storytelling faults, like it established those four champions extremely well. So by the point that you stepped into Age of Calamity, you were excited to play as those four characters, not just like who are these Goombas? That
Hmm.
is it Kia or Chia? Like like nobody knows.
Yeah.
Because the Breath of the Wild did the work to set up those guys. So I don't mean to be doom and gloom. At the end of the day, it probably doesn't mean much. It's just a bunch of names and a brief synopsis. But I came away from this announcement, and maybe this was something that I had like been feeling for a while, but I was just like, man, I just am not like that pumped for this.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, fair. And I think you're right about the fact that Tears didn't give us anything to go on, and that's very unfortunate. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm more excited than you are. I'm I'm looking forward to. Oh man, this is hard because I feel like I'm setting up my expectations because I'm like, oh, they've told us it's going to be a canon story. They're giving us all these characters that we've heard about in Tears, but
Yeah.
not like gotten to know in Tears.
Well, that's the other
So I'm
thing.
like,
Like, do I trust them? I don't know if I
I know
do.
that's like half of my heart is like, don't trust it, don't trust it, but the other half of my heart is like excited because maybe this time it'll be better than last
Oh,
time.
fool me
So
once, Al.
I mean, I feel like a child who's been like disappointed by Santa or something. So like we'll see.
All right. You know what? As a quick glance, like there are definitely some not very nice comments to Linalia, and that does suck
I already
actually.
knew.
Yeah, that does suck. Um, I actually like love like what, to end on a positive note here. I love the fact that she does kind of have like the Oracle Impa vibe going on a little
Mhm.
bit
Yeah.
with two differences.
Yes. Well,
That you could say, but just like what God, maybe this will look better in motion, but like these stills of like her face do not do her any favors. Like I don't know what's up with this character. It
I
just it
think
doesn't
maybe
look like a real character.
she's supposed to look kindly or something. Like, I don't know, I just think it looks cute and I'm excited to see her like kind of
It
do her
it
thing, I
looks
guess.
like it doesn't belong in the Tears of the Kingdom universe. Like the rest of these characters are very lifelike and very like you know what like and this just does seems cartoony and just I don't know. Not
I like it.
jiving. So yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you thought my implication was the other thing there. It's definitely
I
not.
didn't, but I was already like getting this like my backup because I knew what was going to come from her reveal.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're like 3 weeks out from this game, and I don't know. I don't know what they like. I need like a trailer, or I need like a something to go. I
I
just
would
feel like we know nothing about this game coming out.
Yeah, and it's so funny because you did this leading up to Tears too. But like I'm more not excited about the fact that it's coming out so quickly after Pokemon. So like I'm kind of like I'd be excited if they pushed it back a month. Like
Well,
that would
okay,
be
well,
nice.
not a month, okay,
Well,
because
you
then I'm
can't
not
do that
playing
because
it.
then you're screwed. But
Yeah,
like, but
I
yeah,
would have
I'm
been
kind of
cool if
in the
this
boat
came out in
where I'm like,
March. Like,
yeah, I was thinking February, like earlier this year. That's what I was thinking. It would be February 2026 before they announced the date. So I was like totally cool with that.
you know what
But
we
now
need?
I'm feeling like I have to rush stuff. So that's why I'm not excited.
That's another thing too. And I'm gonna say one last thing, and then we'll put a bow and we'll talk about Echoes of Wisdom. So first and foremost, you know what we need? Instead of like three damn directs for this Kirby Air Rider game that nobody cares about, we need a direct for Age of Imprisonment, because like I need to be
Mhm.
sold on this game. Like obviously I'm gonna get it, but like if I was like a lesser, not a lesser Zelda fan, but like if I was obligated to play this game for the podcast, like am I buying this based on what we've seen? I'm not sure. Like I'm not
As a
sure that the
Zelda
hook is
fan,
there for me.
you wouldn't buy it just to be like, I'm a Zelda fan and I want to play this just to give it a chance.
I mean, yes, I probably would, but I guess like to my point, like if I'm one of the 20 million people that bought Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm a Zelda fan, but I'm not like, I'm not in the Discord, I'm not in the,
Mm.
I buy EA Sports games too. Like, am I buying this game? Probably not, unless it looks like really, really awesome. And
Hmm.
do you think this game looks really, really awesome so far?
Yes.
Okay, well, maybe you're buying it, but maybe like if I'm a person that doesn't like these style of games, but I can be
Okay,
swayed
yeah,
by
if
like a
we're
cool story or something like that, like I'm not buying this.
yeah, if you put it that way where I'm like because I like the Hyrule Warriors game style. So like I've seen the trailers and I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
This looks good.
if you're
And
someone
they're
who could take
promised
it or leave it, like
yeah. Yeah. If that's the case then no, probably not. I'd probably do what a lot of people might do with this and just wait for the movie, quote unquote, to come out on YouTube.
yeah, the other thing I was gonna say too is that I mentioned that I'm playing Hades 2 right now,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I was kind of thinking when I was playing that these games are not like that dissimilar in the sense
Hmm.
that like you start off with one character and you're in a map and you fight a bunch of different enemies using different weapons and different combos, and your goal is to take these enemies out to progress to the next map. Like obviously there's some much bigger differences there, but like at the gist of it, like that's kind of the similarity there. So like I'm also wondering, I'm like, am I going to be like really burnt out on this style of gameplay by the time the Age of Imprisonment comes out? I don't know. Like I feel like for me, like I need like a really cool story to get me through this. You
Hmm.
know?
Although I do remember you like were worried about it when Age of Calamity came out, and you're like, oh, I don't really like Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah,
Like, am I
true.
gonna enjoy this? And then you wound up enjoying it. So maybe
Yeah,
that'll be the case with this,
I hope
where
so.
and that's often the case with me with a lot of new things when I'm going into something and I'm like, oh, I don't know. But then I wind up really enjoying it. So I just think that's this case here. But not everybody feels that way. So
I hope so. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, let's move on. It was 1 year ago, plus a couple of weeks, that The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom came out, and it feels actually like super crazy to me that it's been over a year since this game came out.
I
So
know.
September 26th, 2024. I was sure this game came out in 2003, and I was like, wait a second, no, last year was like the year it came out. So
2003, you mean 2023?
oh yeah. Well,
Like
my God,
22 years ago.
you imagine this game came out in 2003. This would be like an unbelievable achievement if this game came out in 2003. Wind Waker,
Oh, yeah.
who? But yeah, so I was thinking it came out in 2023, not
Mhm.
2024, and I was just like, oh yeah, like for some reason we had a big spike in listenership and everything like that last September. I wonder what happened, and I was like, oh my God, like it's Echoes of Wisdom, and Yeah, so I mean, it's been a year, and I don't know. I kind of feel like this game very quickly just kind of settled into, the Zelda timeline, so to speak, here, or like the
Hmm.
Zelda pantheon of games and stuff like that. So, um, I don't know what the legacy of Echoes of Wisdom is ultimately going to be. I mean, like, obviously the very clear legacy of Echoes of Wisdom is like it's the first Zelda game that you get to play Zelda. And I think that's what it hangs its hat on, really. Like, that is its enduring legacy. But I don't know, like, beyond that, I was kind of thinking of this game, and I'm like, I wonder, like, now that we're a year removed, like, what people think of Echoes of Wisdom. I would love for other people to weigh in and let us know over on Discord. But for me, I'm kind of like, this was a really solid Zelda game. Like, it was a really fun, kind of middle of the pack Zelda game, where you had a really fun gimmick that didn't always live up to the potential, I don't think, with all of the Echoes, but a lot of the times it did. It
Hmm.
had a really cute and charming story, but maybe not like the best story in the entire series. It had really fun dungeons, but maybe not the best that you've ever seen in 2D Zelda. Like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I'm kind of thinking, like, this was a really solid Zelda game, but maybe not like one that reaches the heights of even some of like the other 2D games. I don't know. What would you think, Al? Like, 1 year later, comparing this to, let's even just take away like the big 3D games. Like, what do you think, like, comparing this to like the 2D games, like the legacy for you of Echoes of Wisdom?
Hmm. I was trying to take some time to go back and look at my notes for Echoes of Wisdom, like and see how I felt about like our rankings, the definitive ranking, the bosses, etc. And I think I also thought this was like a really solid kind of middle of the pack Zelda game. Like it feels like I'm trying to think back like a year later, I'm like I can totally see myself going back and playing this game every few years where there's some 2D games that I just won't touch ever again if not for this podcast or
Mm.
just like curiosity maybe in the future. Um and I think it's just probably because it's really accessible, it's really fun, it seems really like it's pretty simple, it's not that deep. I think the gimmick's really fun, I think the music's really fun, I think the art style and the visuals are really fun. So overall, it's like a charming, simple time, and I agree. I feel like it's middle of the pack, and I enjoy it. But like, I think it holds itself. I don't know if it's fair to say this though. Like, it holds itself above other 2D Zelda games, but I don't know if that's fair because it came out like really recently compared to 2D Zelda games from early 2000s, where I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I like those games, but I don't really like playing them that much. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if that's fair to say.
I mean, I get it. Like, and maybe it's not necessarily fair, but maybe it is fair,
But
actually,
it's
because,
the
like,
reality. Like
yeah,
it's just the reality of what this is. Like I would rather go back and play Echoes than the Oracle games.
sure. And I think that's fair, actually, because what I was gonna say is, like, you know, I would almost rather go back and play A Link to the Past than I would Echoes of Wisdom. And
Hmm.
obviously, A Link to the Past came out way before, I mean, almost every Zelda game. So, like, it probably is fair to hold it to this standard, but yeah, I mean, like, I agree. Like, I think that there's, like, definitely things in this game that I really love. Like, it added in a lot of like content for play, like side quests and other stuff like that. There was definitely some Breath of the Wild inspiration in Echoes of
Hmm.
Wisdom, and the map was really big and really fun. And like, I think the story was, you know what? Actually, let's talk about the story in a quick sec. But I think that like the gameplay itself was like fun and charming, but I do think that there was like a couple of things holding it back from being like a really really like top of the line 2D Zelda game. And for me, like, I would probably say your top of the line 2D Zelda games are Link's Awakening, Minish Cap, and Link to the Past. That's how I would say, and maybe even Link Between Worlds in there as well. I don't know if you would agree with that.
I the only game I have above Echoes of Wisdom is A Link Between Worlds,
Okay.
as in 2D Zelda games.
Um, I mean, maybe I just have more of an affinity for like the older 2D Zelda games. Link's Awakening and Minish Cap in particular, I feel like are
Yeah.
like favorites of mine. But like I think that I think the Echoes concept was like really 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 strong, but I do think that there were some drawback, or not even drawbacks, but like some things that you could improve upon if you ever wanted to do this again. And I would say, like, obviously how you select your echoes is like a big portion of that. Like you
Yeah.
spend so much time in the menus in this game trying to find the echo that you need. And it's funny because like you really only use like, I mean, like, would you say that you used regularly more than like 10 echoes at a time?
No, and I was gonna bring that up too, where and I don't know if this is like an overall kind of universal feeling, but like sometimes I don't feel that creative in these kind of games where they give you all these things that you could do and think about and strategize about, but I'm like,
Hmm.
I know that this one works and I'm just gonna keep using it, you know?
Yeah. So I think having like a quick wheel with like your top 6 echoes or
Well,
something
there's
like
like
that would have been
there
good.
is the most used, which is what I
There's that.
primarily use. But it's still a long line, and if you're like
Yeah.
you use like 10, you still have to filter through 10 to get to the most like,
Yeah, I think I would have like I would have done a wheel where like you,
a
you
wheel.
you press a
Yeah.
button, your 10 echoes pop up, boom, the pictures are right there,
hmm
and that's how you do that.
There's a wheel in Baldur's Gate 3 and it's very nice for your attacks
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's really nice. And you can organize it so you have your most used like right here and then you can filter through the different wheels.
Yeah. And I mean obviously like hindsight is 2020, right? So like
Right.
it wasn't like a major thing by any stretch of the imagination, but
hmm
the other thing too I think is like the I don't know. You're not. You're right. You're not really incentivized to use like a lot of other echoes. Once I got the Dark Nut, like that was kind of it. Like he was my
hmm
guy that I used to attack, and like there wasn't like a lot of enemies that necessarily you needed to switch it up to defeat, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because like you don't have to mess around in your menus for forever trying to find the right echo. And those could have also had like a description of what they did. I don't think they had those as well because like some echoes, like the spider one, like you could crawl up the web or whatever. And I never used it because like I forgot which one it was. Um,
Yeah, because there's like two different spiders that do two
right,
different things.
right.
Yeah.
And so anyways, like so I think like I don't know, just it's good because you don't have to go through your menu to find echoes. But I mean, it's bad too because you're just like I feel like I'm missing out on a lot.
I
Um,
want to say the only time that I felt incentivized to use such a like array of echoes was the one of the temples, I can't remember. It's the one with the Deku scrubs and Goma.
mm,
That temple like had so many puzzles where you had to use like a variety of echoes and I had so much fun in that temple and I'm like if only in all the temples were like that. I think like they did a good job of trying to use the echoes that you had recently gotten, but I felt like that one specific temple was like really good at making you use like a really large collection of them.
mhm.
So, or maybe like you get into a temple and like Null is like, you can't have these and like snatches the echoes away and you have to get them back at the end of the dungeon. That way you're not using all the same ones. You have to like think outside the box. Um, but again, that could just be a user player error where
It could
I'm just
be.
the one not thinking out the box. I just wanted, like, I know the simple solution to this. And I was the same in Tears and Breath of the Wild as well when it came to solving the puzzles that you could solve any way you wanted or building things any way you wanted. I built the most simple things. So that could just be me. And maybe I'm just not that creative when it comes to playing these games.
And I mean, like, I don't think that's just you. Like, I think like I said, like people kind of find what works for them and use that.
hmm
But and some people, kind of like we were talking about playing Smash Bros. It's like, do you play as random or do you just play the one character that you know all the time?
Right.
Which
That's what I do.
so that's going to depend on character or on players. But like I do kind of feel like sometimes. Oh, I would have liked to be in scenarios where like you have to use like this specific set of echoes or something like that. I don't know. Um, the other thing that I think for me is, and certainly this wasn't bad, but I don't think it was so good that it like pushes it to the upper echelon of Zelda games. Like the story, I think to me was just like kind of okay. Um,
hmm
there were like little micro stories as there often are in Zelda games, which were really good. My boy Condi over on Heber Mountain was so
Yeah.
awesome. But I think
I
like
love those
overall
big
the
crabs too.
plot was like kind of like just okay. I thought that Null was not a very strong villain, and they took way too long to introduce Null. And I didn't think that Try was that great of a companion either. Like again,
Hmm.
Null and Try they weren't bad by any means, but I don't think that I would call them great necessarily
Hmm.
either. So I feel like the story, and you know what? To be fair, the ending too, where Link helps you out, I thought was a little bit. I don't know. I was just like, man, I've played this whole game as Zelda. It's the first game that Zelda's the hero, and now Link is in the final boss battle. Like, get out of here, dude.
But it's not like he takes over. He just helps, you
I
know, and then
totally.
you work together. And I do remember like when we initially talked about this game that like I do remember you saying you didn't think the story was that great. And I was like, I agree it's not that deep, but I didn't need it to be. I thought it was fine and I thought like I was satisfied with it. I agree that the little side stories are very fun and very charming. I really liked Try. I think Try has this cute little arc. It's not like again, it's not the deepest thing, but it's like this almost like semi-fi arc where Try is learning how to feel and like show gratitude and says thank you and like hugs Zelda's or holds Zelda's hand
Hmm.
at the end. I just thought that was so cute. Like the good companion, you know. And I like the ending where you work together with Link because it takes me back to Spirit Tracks. So I was okay with all of that. I might not rank it as high as I did back then. I think I might like dock it down a couple decibels or like a point or two, but like I still think back fondly on it. And I think I would enjoy if I played again, I would still enjoy the same story. I do remember specifically like the way they told the story when we got to the different dungeons in the second half and we were like, "Oh no, it's going to do the same thing Tears did where it says the same thing every single time." And they didn't do that and
Oh
I was like
yeah.
so relieved. And I was like, "Thank
Thank
God."
God. Yes.
So, I mean, I like applaud them for that, but that's like the bare minimum. So, like
Yes. Saying that your story is better than Tears of the Kingdom is not a high bar. Okay. Um,
So, I mean, yeah, I think I gave the story a 4 last year. I think I'd probably go down to a 3.5 if I could, but yeah, I thought it
yeah.
was fine and I was satisfied with it in the end.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't know. I like you're right. Like Link being there doesn't take away from the ending, but I don't know. To me, I thought it would have been a little bit cooler, meant a little bit more, just like
Mhm.
solo. But yeah, that's not what they did, and then I thought that what they did was like fine. But I guess that's like my kind of like thing about Echoes of Wisdom is like I think like after playing it last year, I was like, oh, you know what, this is a really great Zelda game, and I think like with time enough now, I'm just like this was like a really good Zelda game, but I don't know that I would necessarily say that for me it does reach like some of the heights of like the other 2D games that I really like. I mean, obviously on like many levels, it's better than A Link to the Past or
Mhm.
Link's Awakening, but maybe those games that just like mean something a little bit more to me.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
fair.
think like it's still like a really fun game. It does everything well. You know, like it doesn't have
Yeah.
one area where I'm just like, oh, it this stinks in this game. Like, you know, you could look to some Zelda games and it's just like, let's pick the Wind Waker, amazing Zelda
Mhm.
game, but man, its pacing stinks. You know, like to some.
Well,
Yeah.
to some.
um, I look at Echoes of Wisdom though, and I'm like, this is a very competent, like
Mhm.
everything works well in this game. But I do wonder if like there's anything that like truly is like masterful, which is unfortunately kind of the bar that you're ranking when you're talking about new Zelda games, right? Like it has
Mhm.
like the bar for Zelda is high. And so like I think like you've kind of got to be, not that you have to be better than like competent and really well to stand to make it, but like to stand out amongst all of these other great games, you kind of do need to have at least one aspect of the game that is just like absolutely undeniably incredible. And I feel like the Echoes were almost there, but not quite. There was something missing from that, and I don't quite know what it is. Would you agree with
I
that?
wonder yeah, I somewhat like it's kind of weird because I'm like I have these different feelings about the echoes where I was like there was just enough because you're kind of collecting them like Pokemon, right? There's just enough that it didn't feel like too much, but then at the same time there was too much that when you were trying to select them, it was like kind of a hassle.
Yeah.
And then there were some where I'm like, I absolutely did not use this. And then there was some where I was like, I can see why I would need to use this, but I'm going to use this other one instead. So it was kind of like a mixed bag, but overall successful when it came to the echoes. Yeah, I feel like that's how I would feel. Like, like a 4 out of 5 experience. It was almost there, but not quite.
I'm gonna pitch you an idea that I had playing Silksong about if they ever do this again, and we'll get back to that in a quick second. But so in Silksong, what you get is something called crests, and crests alter the way that you fight. So, like for example, there's a hunter's crest where your swing is like really large and sweeping. There's a wanderer's crest where you have short but fast kind of stabs. There's
Hmm.
a witch's crest where you use magic. You get the idea. And all of these
Hmm.
different crests have like, let's say, 8 slots that you can put stuff into, and the stuff that you put are these things called charms. And the charms in Silksong are divided into 3 different categories. There's attack ones, there's support ones, and there's like travel ones. Let's just call them. And I think that like Echoes of Wisdom, if they ever do this concept again, could do something similar where like you clearly divide your echoes into like 3 distinct categories, okay? And
Hmm.
then you maybe depending on what like crest you want to select, and I say quote unquote crest, you're limited to like you can choose from 30 echoes per crest or something like that. And like
Hmm.
you have to switch up your crests at different points in the games to traverse different things or to do different dungeons. I think that would actually be kind of a cool way to incentivize you to use a different playstyle, to use different echoes, to make
Hmm.
finding them a little bit more manageable. Like, I think that that could work if they ever try and do this again. I would be excited by that concept.
Yeah, I keep going back to like I like that. I keep going back to how I organize my wheel in Baldur's Gate, where I have like my attack wheel, my like non-attack actions in the next wheel, and then the wheel after that is like my potions that like I could drink to help with like health or whatever, some kind of power up, etc. So I organize my wheels that way. That way I just like I click the action button and it gives me my first wheel and I'm like, no, click over, click over. Okay, I want this specific wheel. Like I could totally see that with
Yeah, totally.
and like organize it how you want to, like be able to be like, I'm gonna have all my beds in this wheel, I'm gonna have all my zols in this wheel, or all my elemental things in this wheel, I'm gonna have all my big attackers, the P hat, the dark nut, the whatevers in this one, the Lizalfos.
Hmm.
I could totally see that being really successful. I understood what Nintendo was doing with that the picking bar in Tears and Echoes. It's just too long. There's just too much stuff, which
Yeah.
is not a bad thing. It's just like you got to organize it better.
Like totally. That's a critique that people had, which I think is a totally fair one. Is like way too much menu in this game. Um, so let me ask you this, and we'll kind of end on this question. So Echoes of Wisdom just turned 1. Congrats
Hmm.
to Echoes of Wisdom. Um, would you like to see this concept come back? Would you like to see this art style come back? Would you like to see another game centered around Princess Zelda? And answer those individually.
Okay, I was gonna say those are all individual questions.
Yeah.
So what the first one is, would you like to see this come back? Like
Would
this
you like to see the concept of echoes come back?
um I don't know. I feel like I'm very satisfied with this being a one and done.
Hmm.
And if it does come back, it has to be in for me, I feel like it would have to be in the same world, and I'm like what would cause Try to come back into the same world, you know?
Hmm.
Or if it's kind of similar to A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, where it's like, so many odd years in between, maybe that could be the reason, and it could just be a different Zelda. So I feel like yes, but I would be satisfied with no.
So maybe to alter, like, would you be fine with like this concept coming back, where you can like summon enemies to fight for you and different things, not necessarily
Um,
like echoes as they were presented in this game, but just the general concept.
oh yeah, the general concept if you like summon enemies. Yeah, sure. Hmm.
Okay, I think I would be like open to that coming back as well, but it would definitely have to be different than what this was. Like
Hmm.
using your wheel idea, the crest idea, something along those lines to kind of like limit the amount of echoes that you have, but also make them more unique for when you're fighting with them. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that coming back though. Um, this art style, I think I'm good on this art style.
Hmm.
I wish that actually like I love obviously I love this art style. I'm just gonna come out and say like I think the art style is like fantastic. I thought it really worked well for Link's Awakening on the Switch. And I thought that they should bring it back for something, but I wasn't sure what. And I think it looked really good for this game here, but I don't know. Would you like to see this art style? Something tells me like I'm okay with it just kind of being a like
Hmm.
for this, but I guess if they brought it back, like it wouldn't certainly be the worst thing. I did love seeing all of the enemies in this art style, and that's one thing that Echoes did really well.
Hmm. I think for a while we wanted the Oracle games to be remade in this art style, didn't we?
I think a
Um,
lot of people do. I don't. I really think that it should be remade in like the cutscene style.
yes, that makes sense. I feel like yeah, for the longest time I wanted the Oracle games to be remade in this art style because like Link's Awakening and the Oracle games, while not like the same world or anything like that, it's just like kind of similar veins as how these games were made and how they look.
Hmm.
So I felt like that would make sense in my brain who likes to like put puzzle pieces together and compartmentalize. I can never say that word. But now that we have this kind of outlier game, I don't know. I feel like that would be weird if we did these Oracle games in this art style.
A little bit,
And
yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I'm in the same boat where like I'm okay. It's like one of those things where I'm like I'd be satisfied if this is where we left it. But knowing Nintendo, I don't think this is where they're going to leave it. I think they'll bring this back in a different game. I don't
Hmm.
think it'll be the Oracles, but I think it'll be a new game in the future.
Um. Okay, so last question here, and I think that like I'm gonna alter my question because obviously obviously I think if I were to ask you like do you want to play another game, another Zelda game as Princess Zelda, you'd probably say yes, and I would say yes as well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna alter my question. So Echoes of Wisdom has come out, and within the last year, I'm gonna pull up the sales figures, but it wasn't like blow away crazy, but it wasn't like terrible either.
Mhm.
I want to say it was like somewhere in the neighborhood of. The last report is that we have about 3 million units, so just over 2.5. So I'm going to say probably. Oh, here we go. So it's over 4 million copies actually as of the last financial report. Do you think that we see
Nice.
another Zelda game as Zelda?
Uh, yeah, I do. I do. I think so. I think that Nintendo has like kind of dipped their toes in now. I mean, we've got Age of Imprisonment coming out, which is more Zelda focused, instead of Link focused.
True.
So I feel like we've jumped in at this point. We dipped our toes and now we're jumping in, and we'll see it. We'll see Zelda again in her own kind of like title. I'm sure.
I hope so. And to
Mhm.
tie it back, like I kind of think like I wouldn't mind actually. So I wouldn't mind the Echoes coming back, but I also wouldn't mind like another Zelda game that was like more like traditional. Like when I say another Zelda game where you play Zelda, that was
Mhm.
like more traditional and like you had like combat that you yourself were using and like maybe it's more magic focus. I think
Mhm.
that could be like really cool as well. And I don't know, give her a weapon. Like obviously Zelda uses the bow. We've seen her use a
Mhm.
sword. Like I think that would be kind of cool as well. So I wouldn't mind that. Going forward, or at least like a Zelda game where you can alternate between the two. That isn't like Hyrule Warriors. Would be
Yeah, I
cool.
mean, I have always said that I would have loved to also play as Zelda's like her journey in Skyward Sword because she
Yeah,
clearly goes through a journey while Link is going through a parallel one. I would have loved that. So if we have a game where that is like similar, where we like jump between the two and they're going through a parallel journey that meets at the end, that would be super cool.
that'd be cool, man. That would be
Yeah.
good.
Hmm.
So Echoes of Wisdom, 1 year later. I think. I mean, I think that's the legacy, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's a fine Zelda game,
Yeah,
and
I
then
look
that
forward
sounds bad,
to
but like maybe it shouldn't.
It's
Like
really
it's
not. I
yeah,
don't think it is. I look forward to the next time that I get to play it. I think next time I'll do the hard mode or hero mode, whatever it is
yeah.
in this game. That way I use the smoothies more and maybe have a little bit more thought and strategy in my echoes. But I've heard that it is like this game was a little bit easy, and which I don't mind. Like I like easy games because then I feel better about myself as a gamer. But like maybe a little bit of a challenge next time would be fun.
Dude, talk to Sam about Silksong. she hated me playing that game because
I know.
I was
That's what she
dying
said
and
in
dying.
Seattle.
When I beat the game, she cheered.
Yeah, she was like, I don't really like listening to him play it.
It was tough. Like those types of game when it's too challenging, it's just like when you
Did
lose. So
she get Stardew on mobile yet?
she is not. No, she is not. I
Ah,
don't know if
Sam,
mobile
come
is the
on.
right platform. Is it?
I don't like the controls on mobile, but you said she likes the mobile games.
Does
So
it
I'm like,
have like a
maybe
virtual like
God, I don't
joypad?
remember. I haven't touched it since it came out on mobile, which was a while ago.
Okay, I will do some research into this. Okay, so Echoes of Wisdom turns 1, new information in Age of Imprisonment. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here, Al?
Pokemon in a few days. I'm so excited.
Happy Pokemon Day to all those that celebrate. I wish I could be playing it, and
We
if
need to
not for
drag
Age of
Andy back into
Imprisonment,
Pokemon.
I would be. I
We got to
would be.
drag you back in because I fear that you're missing out now. You missed the last mainline title, and now you're gonna miss this one for a minute. We got to
Yeah,
drag you back in.
yeah. Well, I will say like the starters are not like super incentivizing to me because I don't particularly love any of.
We
Well,
were talking about this before the show.
do you love any of those starters? Are any of those starters like your favorite?
Yeah, I like Chikorita and Tepig are both like favorites of mine, but I don't like know which one I want to pick in the end.
Okay, well,
Totodile is fine. He can go off on his own. He's fine.
I don't know, man. The starters for me are Totodile would probably be my guy actually of all of
Yeah.
them. But even Totodile is just like he's okay. You know, he's okay.
Yeah.
Um, New episodes of Middle Earth, the podcast, have
Oh,
been
yeah.
recorded. We had a great time recording
We
these.
did.
We did a lot of like really fun thought experiments, and if you like when Allison yells at me, you will really love these. So we
I'm
did
trying to remember what I yelled at you about.
well. So first and foremost, Allison, I'm gonna give you credit. You did what no one else would do. Okay, and you stepped up to the plate and you defended Tales of the Shire.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like what we had a good discussion with like actual critical thinking. I think that's
Yes, I think
Yeah.
it was a very fair review
Yeah,
on your point,
yes.
but you stood up for it, like you went to bat for it a
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah, I did.
So that's going to be coming out. We also did a couple really fun like what if thought experiments in Lord of the Rings, like what if what if this had happened differently, or what if that had happened differently. And the most contentious episode I feel like was
Oh, yeah. Okay,
what
I remember.
what the books did better than the movies, and what the movies did better than the books. So we each had a few that we thought did better, and there were some disagreements. So I specifically had something that I thought the movie did better, and Allison specifically had the same thing, but she thought that the book did better. So so wine was flowing, and we were having a great time over on Middle Earth the podcast, which new episodes are going to be dropping. I mean, like literally like this month. So never been a better time to head over to patreon.com/spnet. Get in on that action. And that, my friends, does bring us to the end here. So thank you for listening. Let us know what you think of Echoes of Wisdom 1 year later. Let us know what you think of the new character names. Are you excited for Age of Imprisonment? Am I being a Scrooge McDuck here? What's going on? Let us know over on Discord. Let us know over on Blue Sky. You can check us out at the Zelda Cast. I am at Spiteri316. Al is at Allison Aletha. Check out ZeldaDungeon.net for all your Zelda news. We pulled up a bunch of stories that we referenced today over from there. And their YouTube page has these episodes in full video length if you want to see us arguing and glaring at each other. Check out the Zelda Cast wherever you get your podcast. Go like, subscribe, recommend, rate, review, all that fun stuff. If you got a Zelda fan in your life, tell them where they can get their weekly Zelda fix. And as mentioned, patreon.com/spnet if you want to take your Zelda love to the next level. That, my friends, is going to do it for us. So until next week, everybody, take care. Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this clip and want to see more of the Zelda Cast, make sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform of choice and subscribe. There are over 200 episodes in the vault that will provide you with hundreds of hours of Zelda content for you to enjoy. You can listen to us when you're on a walk, fighting Ganon, trying to sleep, whatever. And if you want to see these shows as they happen, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/the ZeldaCast, where you can watch our beautiful faces talk talk about Zelda every single week. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.